Good afternoon, and I'm Gayle Putnik. I am the superintendent of the Dysart Unified School District. That's located outside of Phoenix, Arizona. We have 25,000 students, and we basically have a district that is split in half. Half of my district, we have a poverty rate that is very high, with about 100% of our students on free and reduced lunch, and the other half of our district is a newer section, and although, again, it's more blue collar, we still have our schools in that 30% of free and reduced lunch. But as we were moving forward, what was really important to us is that we serve every single student. And so today I'm going to talk to you about creating that space for innovation and personalization. And when I'm talking about space, I'm using a very broad definition, whether we're talking about that physical space, that conceptual space, or that space around perception. And if you look at the definition of space, it's really about that expanse that's unfilled or available. So what we really strive to do is make sure, as we're filling those spaces, it's meaningful to what our goals and our outcomes are. So we began to look at how we redefine, redesign, and reimagine education. What we know is we can't continue doing things the way we've always done it. It's not going to work for these students who are moving into the innovation and information age. So when we began to look at that redefine, redesign, and reimagine, we also began to think about what was it that was going to drive the change that prepared those students for the challenges and the opportunities that they were going to face in life and in work. And I talked to my mom, who's 89 years old, almost every morning, and the world is so different to her. And I started thinking about this. We have students right now in our preschool and probably our kindergarten that will be celebrating the year 2001. What will their world look like, and how do we make sure that we've prepared them? So we began to think about some of the opportunities that we could create for our students and what it meant. We did not start out thinking about personalized learning. Quite frankly, we didn't start out thinking about how we were going to use technology or how we were going to make certain that we were really imagining that future. But as we continued to do the research, look at how we provide those opportunities, it led us to needing to put in place personalized learning, needing to use that technology because those are the tools. And when we talk about personalized learning, we aren't talking about the project-based learning, or we're not talking about the maker spaces, or we're not talking about that individualized instruction or about that passion. To us, those are the tools. What we're talking about is students owning their own learning, having complete control over pace and place and space. So that led us down a very different path. The other thing we learned is that if we want to innovate, we better exnovate. And what we mean by that is you can't keep layering things on this plate. You have to really examine what you're doing and eliminate the things that don't support those goals and don't support the outcomes that you want. In other words, clear the space. The other thing that we knew we had to do in order to clear that space is really get focused. So this past year, we revised our strategic plan. And in that strategic plan, we made space to innovate. And we made certain there was going to be a way for us to change our teaching and our learning environments to personalize it. Here you see in front of you the profile of a college and a career-ready graduate. That's the other thing we needed to do. We needed to redefine ready. And in here you'll see knowledge, but you're going to see skills and dispositions as well. So as we move forward, we define that space called Dysart, that learning environment, and now we're able to redesign what we do in order to make sure we're hitting our goals and objectives. The other thing we did is we needed to measure where we were. So we created this continuum of personalized learning. And we broke it down into some key areas like our assessment and our learning environment. And what we're able to do then as leaders in the district is to make certain that we're moving on this continuum and truly doing the things that personalize learning for our students. The other thing we did was we opened up our Innovation Academy. we have been piloting the tools of personalized learning across the district. But this was a place where we brought all of our understandings and our tools together for some middle-level learners. And in our Innovation Academy, again, we have all of those pieces you've been hearing about that are really critical and helping students define their passion and their pathways. But it's also a place for us to be able to nurture the personalized learning approach, but also to do evaluation, because we want to make certain that everything that we're doing has meaning for those outcomes for our students. If you want to learn more about our Innovation Academy or our personalized learning approaches, I would recommend that you go to our Dysart website. Not only do we have videos there, but in fact we've started to do 360 videos so that you could actually drill down as you walk through our programs or through our schools, so that you can really get a good look at what it is we're doing. So here you see an example in one of our classrooms where, again, our teachers are facilitators or coaches, and our students are really the people who are owning their own learning. We also know that for innovation, we have to have an opportunity for students to really pursue their passions, and so we have students working on all sorts of projects within those programs. I'm speeding it up now. And again, they are also the leaders or the coaches on these. So sometimes they're the ones being coached, and sometimes they're the ones coaching the other students. Again, owning that. Here you see our graphic that we're using to help our entire community understand what personalized learning is all about. And again, we've changed the space for our learners as well. They get to select where they're most comfortable in their learning. So our physical spaces are changing. And here's an example in one of our classrooms. Another example, again, of students working together collaboratively in those changed spaces. So as we conclude, as we're all pursuing, again, what are those best pathways in personalized learning, we have to remember that in creating that space, it's not only from that leadership level, but where we're getting our greatest impact is when we let our students and our expert teachers lead the way and create those spaces for innovation. Thank you.